I had a feeling there was more to being a Christian than just reading the Bible, praying, and going to church. But I didn't truly know. I grew up as a Christian, and I was always one foot in, one foot out. And it wasn't really until I encountered the presence of God did things really change. It wasn't until then until I really learned what it meant to be a follower of Jesus. It's hard too because you hear people talk about Jesus in a way that sometimes feels foreign. Like he's done so much for them, but if you haven't experienced him in this way, it can sort of be really hard to relate. And I think this is what happens with Christ so often, is that testimonies about his goodness begin to feel distant and almost even untrue. And over time, they sort of feel like white noise. How could he love me if I've never even felt his love? How could he always be there for me if I've never even felt like he was there for me in the first place? I guess I just came to encourage anybody who may feel this way, because a part of me was where you are. I used to go to church and hear stories about people talking about Jesus all the time. And a part of me believed them, but there was also a part of me that just felt like, okay, that's cool, but I've never experienced him in that way. I just didn't really understand what was possible. I didn't know really how to get to him. I didn't know that you could tangibly feel his presence. I didn't know that you could hear his voice normally, just like a parent talks to a kid or a friend talks to another friend. I assumed that he only really spoke about the big things, typically through signs that are sometimes hard to decipher. I assume most of the time I just have to be content with silence. I didn't know that his voice sometimes sounds just like anybody else's. I didn't think he would just talk about the small thing. It all changed January 2021.